Today we're going to be constructing a wigwam that is in a conical structure or a cone structure, much like a teepee. And
you guys, can you hold the axe there right now, please?
We hold the axe.
Or go far away in the other direction. Thanks.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Yeah. Hold off and stop doing it. I'll start over with that.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Waking to another wet morning under their canoes, the adventurers continue adapting to the life of their ancestors. Having to survive for 3 more weeks on the land, they have quickly realized the importance of a secure shelter.
Well, I mean, the first use of a canoe is not really a shelter, so a canoe is kind of just a quick method to get under and covered.
It rained during the night, so but
you were tucked under the canoe.
I was cozy. I was cozy.
You were cozy. Yeah.
That's what you get for not going to bed early.
Yeah, I guess I was comfy, cozy. I was warm. I didn't actually get comfortable to sleep very well, but everybody else was snuggling up against me, keeping warm. And this guy had his hand in my face at one point, and people stroking my hair, thinking it was rabbit fur.
I'm happy to see the morning come and progress to another day.
Having to cooperate and keep a good pace, their first paddle to a new camp will see them covering 3 kilometers as they learn to work together in the canoes. Moving from Twin Lakes, they aim for Fallen Tree, which offers a similar environment so they can apply the teachings they have already received. Coming ashore, they are happy to see a familiar face.
Oh, you got some visitors.
Bonjour.
Hey, Stan.
Okay, watch it.
Hi, I'm Caleb.
Caleb.
Big Caleb.
Caleb,
Caleb.
this is Caleb.
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Okay, nimelan ten yom taguk mino te biji to take. Uma ni chikoso ya Caleb. And they walo chi kaya lumen saraigen. They shower nog and they walo. Uma eu just kano mago ande do teme ya ande do teme go kaigen ne kayek. Eu se taigen de se tabenu se moyek. Me go je ematigi gak. Eu de mago stuna ande se tabenu se moyek takaya ke buwe ke muang ke bu mesu sa buwe sigi gak. Agi kano mago ande do tigatek. Eu just Kino to go stunawa, kino uma edutamege, kino boga dutanawa, o boga kromagwa, kino to go mese, kata kaboga senemo de dutamege, mi to anataga te go tabenushumu in sergate, mi uter mestigoga o mese avacha, sugubi go na ko mestigon ga stunawa, yo stuye isi tabenushumu ye tebekak. Eu gosto de escutar que hoje tu não achas que eu acho que me sou que não mago ou nem se coisa que não mago ande do também.
Anin bojo, kenu ne dish nakas bazo na shindorem, Mississauga in the schnabe in endo, hamara skode ang in donjaba. Bojo, wanana bojo. My name's Caleb. I'm from Hiawatha First Nation in Rice Lake, and Mississauga Ojibwe, and I'm a survival instructor. I'll be teaching you guys today how to stay warm for once, to actually get warm for the night and to stay dry. We're gonna make you guys a shelter. We're gonna show you how to make a lean-to, which is the simplest one to do for this. It's been used by our people for thousands of years, if not longer. They're very simple compared to other shelters. We don't have bendable poles here. We don't have really good bark this time of year to peel. So we're gonna be depending on boughs, poles, and a traditional fabric that was used since the 1600s. That's canvas. We will depend on that only if we don't get enough material to construct the shelter. Canvas has been traded to our people from old sailcloths from the French and the English since as far back as 1623. We've got a long history using this throughout the fur trade era into the 1800s and beyond. So everything is going to be old school today. We're inside Ojibwe territory within a beautiful part of the boreal forest, the southern central area of the boreal forest. And it's a beautiful territory that Stan and his family have been on for, well, since time immemorial, since before there were stories. So this is a really, really beautiful space and ripe with resources that are gonna be able to keep you warm. I've heard a few stories. You guys have been out here for a few days now, cold, wet, probably a little hungry, a little tired, not getting enough rest. We're gonna try and rectify that today. We only got a few more hours of daylight, so let's get to work.
One of the most effective methods of a quick and sturdy shelter is the lean-to, a solid frame made with a ridge pole lashed between two trees. It supports a wall made with interwoven branches covered by a layer of boughs. A fire is lit at the front, keeping them warm throughout the night.
So between this pole and that tree right there, we're gonna put a ridge pole. We're gonna first have to clear this area. We got some brushes come down from windfall. We got some small firs in here. We got overhang. We've checked the area for widowmakers. There should be no trees that can come down in here and harm you if they're dead standing. But there's a lot of stuff that can gouge you in the eyes, gouge you in the mouth, and that's just not a good day. So we're gonna clear out as much of this as we can. We got a couple of logs as well that we're gonna have to buck and move, which we can probably use for the structure of the shelter or for your firewood, and it's gonna help a lot. So first things first, get the stuff out of your eyes. So reach as high as you can, break the branch. Break it as close to the tree as you can. If you can't break it as close to the tree as you can, like if it's still sticking out quite a bit, you can always take the handle of your axe and clear. So it all comes off fairly clean.
Are you using the handle so you don't dull it?
Yeah, you know, and also you just don't need it. You just need blunt force trauma to really get this stuff to come off. So clearing it off as best you can, as high as you can reach, because we're gonna be working as high as we can reach to make this shelter, and it also gets rid of all this debris, and this is really good kindling to start the fire with. Same with that side, and then once we get that clear, we'll start working on the ground floor. All right, so get to work.
With the moon already rising, the adventurers are running out of time to complete a shelter large enough to keep them all warm as the temperature drops. Hard at work on building their first proper shelter, the adventurers are excited at the potential for a good night's rest.
So far in this journey, our shelters have been made largely of spruce boughs and canoes. So it's not watertight, and we have had a couple damp nights, but you know, we come together as a team, and that's what we're doing now to build a better shelter.
What's the most beautiful part to this for me is we're reintroducing them to their ancestry. We are connecting them and reconnecting them to the heritage that goes back way before contact. Other than the canvas, everything here, their ancestors had way back 2,000, 4,000 years ago. And so that is extremely beautiful to me. That's really magical. And if they have the chance to connect even to one little thing, like how to split roots or how to clean spruce roots or how to break a bough, that's a chance for them to think that their great-great-grandmother or their great-great-great-granduncle knew how to do that stuff all the time and did it. And then go home and show it to their family or show it to their siblings or their kids. And that's awesome.
It's going to be like this. Okay, like this. You tie down. Then after that, you put more wood there.
The teachings are bringing the team together, with some exceptions.
I mean, but the thing is like you still have to consistently, like somebody always has to like stay up and like feed fire, and like it's just getting exhausting. Like I've had like realistically no sleep, and then everybody else snores, so it's like I can't get to sleep because everybody falls asleep in like somehow 5 minutes.
The reason we want to put the ridge pole on this side, this is where all the weight's going to be coming from. Oh, okay. We put on this side, now that root is the only thing holding it on. So this way the weight can help pin it against the shelter. Always keep your ridge pole on the inside of the shelter. If not, this thing becomes a deadfall trap. And I'm sure Stan knows enough about deadfalls. You don't really want to be caught in one.
Break your neck.
Big Caleb told little Caleb, go get some trees, bigger trees, because I guess mine weren't long enough. But that's good though, because at least my feet won't get crushed.
I want you to have your feet down here and your head up there. We want to make sure your heads are past the ridge pole a bit, so it doesn't land right on your heads if it does break. Kind of helps.
Yeah, I'll go a little further.
This is good, this is good, this is good.
What, that's good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. I really hope that it's tied well. I don't really feel like having that thing hit my head in the middle of the night. Might clip my forehead.
Yeah, that's okay. Just gives you a better story to tell when you get home. There's a lot of benefits to constructing shelters from the land. First and foremost, it lightens your load. The more you know, the less you carry. All right, so first lesson with axes, if at all possible, never put them in the dirt because you don't know what's down there. It could be a rock, and if you chip that edge, that takes files and stones and a lot of stuff you don't have out here. For safety, there's a lot of ways to hold an axe, but the one thing you got to remember is when it goes to horizontal, that's as far as it can go. You don't want it to swing.
Little did I know I was just swinging the axe at my feet this entire time. I'm lucky to have my feet, I guess.
That's going to break your leg open. That's going to bust you up. I've got enough scars to prove it.
Because I did have an accident. As I swung down, the piece of log started to tip, and I just sort of ricocheted off it, and it did go into the side of my leg, which wasn't fun.
Do not try to be powerful with an axe. Try to be precise with an axe. Be precise, not powerful. If it takes 20 chops to get through a log, then it takes 20 chops, but at least your feet are together and your hands are still intact.
Standing too close to the tree, I thought I was going to use my leg. I thought you were about to use my leg as an example.
When you're trying to throw a pole, you want it to get as far away as possible. Some people try to throw it like a spear. That doesn't work. Some people just toss it. If you hold it like that, and then just push your hand, springboards it. Far away, gets it away from you. Because you just toss it, it can catch up on branches and come back. Yeah, any roots that are stuck in the ground, yeah. Find those roots though, because we're going to be needing those for binding. We want nice, big, strong roots. We're in a really good spot here. We got nice mossy ground. We got a few larger conifers. Most of these look like balsam fir. Their roots will do. It's better if it's black spruce or white spruce, but balsam fir will do as long as we got enough of them. So what I do is I find where a tree's coming out, and I start lifting back the moss. What I really want to do is start digging into this dirt until I snag a root like that one there. See that? Once I find a couple, I start digging with them.
I have just chopped down this tree to help make our lean-to shelter. And I might have gone a little bulky.
Just dig it. Just dig it down, see what's around it. See if you can loosen everything around that. It might be attached to that tree. If so, we'll just stop.
Got one.
Yeah, digging roots for lashing. So this is sort of a new type of cordage for me. Never seen it used maybe, but never used it myself. So this is cool. Elder Stan was saying you gotta worry about the Maje Gijigan, right? The bad days, right? So keep us protected from the rain and the snow and that kind of thing. So keep us warm.
I've always wanted to be a lumberjack. Go big or go home.
Other way it's going to help them is it completely reconnects you. You are completely intimate with the material that is taking care of you, and that material comes from the land, from Akin, being on the land. Those boughs that they're going to be sleeping on top of, they broke those. They took those from the trees. They're going to know those boughs. So what I want you to do is lift up the bottom of these boughs and lay it all the way down to the ground, all right? They're going to remember each and every single one of them as they lay them into their bed. They're going to remember all those trees that they tied together. They're going to remember how to dig roots every time. They're gonna understand these things much more intimately than if they went out here with a nylon tent and a sleeping bag made of synthetic fiber.
With a wealth of knowledge and resources at their fingertips, the adventurers are beginning to understand their ancestors' journey. As seasons change and the landscape shifts, the ability to adapt and work in harmony with others and the environment around them can make the difference between life and death. These teachings are not only about keeping them alive, but rekindling their spirit and their connection. With daylight growing short and another wet night ahead, the adventurers are excited to be nearing the end of their first well-built shelter.
When we went on the land where there's a lot of cedar, we used cedar boughs to make a good bedding. They smell good. You can smell that too.
When it comes down to the bedding, you're gonna have to change your bedding at least every 2 days. When people think changing bedding, they think that means you have to throw it all out. That just means add some more on top. Because what happens, you start compressing it and it doesn't come back.
Right.
So you gotta add more on top, and over time, your bed would actually be 2-3 meters deep, but it's actually only a couple inches deep.
Being out on the land and sleeping under the stars has impacted the group in different ways.
I really hate it. It's getting like way colder at night than it should be, and our shelters that we have definitely have sucked, so hopefully tonight will be better, but I mean, I doubt it.
I'm looking for small cedars about this size, so we can use the bedding. You cut like this. What do you call these boughs? Cedar boughs, you call them. So if you can just reach them by your hand like this, so you can use them for bedding.
Like everything's, looks good until you get in there and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and your feet are ice cubes. So, I don't know, I guess we'll see how it goes. See how many more days I can last. I don't know if everybody is supposed to do it.
It just feels so nice to be in nature. I was waiting for this to happen for a long time. I just love the peacefulness of it all, and I find it very meditative, when you're chopping wood and you just have this like iron focus on staying alive, keeping warm, and you just have these like really basic life chores to do that when you do them you feel so fulfilled, which is different than when you're living in the city. You can waste the whole day just watching Netflix or kind of wasting away feeling like what's the meaning of life. But when you're out in the bush, the meaning of life is to stay alive, and you feel more alive out in the bush.
Let that birch bark burn for a moment. Let it take its heat. What I like to do is wait until the fire's waving at me. Those flames are dancing up high. And then I'll start releasing this, kind of get back down to it. Before I put any more wood on, again, I'm going to wait for those flames to wave at me, like that. And then I know it's time to put some more on. So I walk over here, grab some of the sticker stuff. Kayla, would you like to help grab me this log here? Put it right on top. Like that. Now the real secret to these shelters is a lot of people think you want the wind coming from the back. That's going to cause a wind eddy. It's going to cycle all the smoke in there. You want the breeze coming in along it. You make a high wall like that, it's going to help suck that smoke in like a void and draw it away from you as well. But we're leaving behind a lot of knowledge about shelters for you that you can carry on your journey for the next few weeks. Stay warm, have a good night.
All right, before you and Stanley leave, on behalf of our little tribe over here, we have an offering for you. I'd like to thank you both for the teachings.
Rich.
And I'm sure it's something that will keep with us for the rest of our lives. I can't thank you enough for passing down this knowledge, so we can definitely pass it down to our children one day. Wish us luck.
I do.
Fire roaring and the lean-to complete, Caleb and Stanley depart, confident in the traditional knowledge they have passed on.
I'm really impressed by this crew. They have done exceptional. In a very short time frame, they threw together a frame and covered it. Some of them really had certain strengths. Some of them were the firewood getters. So you look at someone like Michaela, who's going out and she's coming back with logs as big as her on her shoulders. That just amazed me. That wowed me. And then you look back and you're seeing people like Brendan, who was just focused on bringing poles in. Even when we had enough poles, he just felt the need to go out and get a little bit more. And amazingly, we actually had a need for them. I thought we had enough, and every pole he brought in, we put to use on that frame. And all the boughs that they kept bringing, all the materials they kept bringing, the fact that some of them were just so focused on getting those roots perfect, getting them nice and long, nice and straight, and bringing back the right stuff, and how keen they were on learning this stuff. This is going to go miles ahead for them. If they can focus on making sure that their firewood is stocked for the night and they have an open fire going really well, and they learn how to work as a team to make sure that that fire remains stoked and doesn't go out on them or burn down low, I think that they're going to have more than just a good time. I think they're going to have great success. I think they're actually going to enjoy it. I think they're going to actually not survive out here, but thrive out here and live out here. That's what Anishinaabe are. That's what Oji-Cree are. We aren't surviving out here, we're living out here.
The group, eager to get a good night's sleep, share their last supply of pemmican and hope to rest well before their first long paddle ahead. Our teacher is the land. Creator has surrounded us with the gifts to build shelter, to build home. If we do not respect Mother Nature, we cannot ask for her gifts. We must lean on the elders and each other to stand strong. Working as one gives strength to all, but as one, do we all complete the same task? Are we ready to do more than survive? Are our people ready to thrive?
Udebel itigan gitsimando. Pinanako mo na no tagizigak. Minegi melomadzisiak. Mininan maskawiziwen. Nestaga stentaguswen.
Crack in the bottom of it.
It's okay.
Oh shoot.
There's a crack on my bottom too, so it's mine.
6 strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Most of the adventurers wake thankful. They have remained warm and dry overnight. But they begin the day realizing they have finished all their pemmican. Without any food stores, everything must now be sourced from the land. They are adapting to the tasks they face each morning. But a successful harvesting camp requires they meet its non-stop demands.
Every morning we seem to have minced and rosehip tea or cedar and rosehip tea. Good source of sugar. 5 out of 6 of us like it.
Holy, call me right out, eh? Yeah, I hate it. It's disgusting.
Not Gabriella's favorite, but
Nothing's Gabriella's favorite.
you only have to divide it by 5.
The strain is affecting them differently, both physically and emotionally.
We've been living a nomadic life, and it is taking a toll on, the joints, muscles, our hunger, our stress levels, anxieties.
I'd rather starve to death than freeze to death.
Well, Gabby had a meltdown yesterday.
Thanks for speaking, and Gabriella's not doing it anymore for nobody.
Just kind of brought the whole attitude of the group down a little bit.
Gabby's behavior and personality, I guess, are a little much at times. It's not like we're the kind of people who go exile anyone or anything. It's not the kind of show where you can vote someone off the island. So we try to calm her and assure her that she can make it. Everything's all right. But yeah, she definitely has a Toronto mentality, if I can say something. Oh, that's a Windsor boy talking.
And she just gets tired, and that changes her energy.
There's poles, and I'm only 5 feet tall, and these things are like 20 feet tall, and you got to carry them, and it's not fun.
Everyone's kind of trying to bite their tongue a little bit, and you know, like trying to let her do her thing, but
because there's so many trees and you gotta maneuver through them, and I keep getting stuck in between two trees. It's not great.
Like if I'm upset, I mean, especially just being 19 and stuff too, if somebody will say, oh, well, yo, don't be like that, or you're making everybody else upset, I instantly snap. Like I can't handle it.
I don't know how everybody else is doing it straight. I keep getting caught.
Like just let me do what I want. Let me yell, let me complain, and just keep your mouth shut.
And everything's so much bigger than me out here.
Because I'm somebody who's very confrontational when it comes to those things, especially when I'm put in a situation like this. So I mean, it's just best that people kind of let me do what I need to do.
when it comes to the point where she's like pushing you, like she's like, oh, you have to deal with my attitude.
I can't handle somebody else like butting in when I'm just snapping. And that's it. I mean, I think they kind of got that now.
She's like, oh, hopefully you guys get used to it. Like, no, we don't have to get used to it. Like, maybe if you try to help yourself or like do something to carry your own weight.
I feel like I'm in a third world right now. Like I'm in a third world country. Like this is not fun at all. Having to go grab water, just not having a shower, and then, you know, not having just a nice fridge that I can open that's filled with bologna and like chips and stuff.
I think a lot of us are too struggling with the change in diet. When you have like a high sugar diet, you tend to crash a lot once you stop eating sugar.
The food situation definitely is an ongoing thing. Like we, you know, have like a lack of food. It's not fun. I mean, thinking about where you're gonna get your meal next.
We're together all the time. Like when we go to sleep, we're all like compact, snuggling. We got a good snuggle puddle going on, and yeah, we're together nonstop all day, all night. So I think maybe she just needed some time alone. Yeah, she took that time and she came back. She was fine and everything was back to normal again.
She's making like really good progress, and it's understandable. Like she said, she's not used to this environment.
Like it's not an easy situation for somebody who's never even been camping before.
I don't know, it's an effort on her part, and she's doing really, really well. And like, I'm not gonna try it. It annoyed me yesterday just because she was like, you guys have to deal with it. No, you don't have to. She's like, I'll fight people. I was like, I'll fight you.
But at this point, you know, I'm pretty good. I'm feeling alright this morning. I had a good sleep, so I can't complain too much.
Like I said earlier, like she's teaching me patience.
You got an A-bond on, so the French would say it's roses.
It's gonna be great. We all work together. We can make another shelter, and we'll see like another area. To be frank, I'm getting a little sick of this area. It's hard to get to the water. So it'd be nice to have a place where it's better access to the water. You know, every corner around the river, there's something new to discover. You know?
The 6 adventurers embark on their longest paddles so far, hitting the open water hungry and wondering where their next meal will come from. The relentless lifestyle of those who traveled these trade routes before them sinks in deeper with each paddle. Traveling from Fallen Tree Camp, they will nearly double their previous day of paddling. With no idea what awaits them at Fish Cove, they must take to the open water for the first time as they seek a brand new area to set up camp.
Today my paddle was a little wet.
We had a couple holes in the canoe, which me and Brendan got soaked, like super soaked.
But we didn't flip, we didn't sink, so that's a win in my book. That's why I'm making this, to dry out my socks.
After days with minimum rations, the hours on the water has left them low on energy and desperate to source food. But the elders have taught them a sturdy shelter is their first step to success.
Getting the shelter up is definitely my favorite thing, and like hunting, even though I haven't caught anything yet.
Using the canvas gifted to them by Elder Caleb Musgrave during their previous camp, they apply his teachings to build a cone-shaped wigwam, also known as a teepee.
And this is basically like a mix of a lava, a lean-to, and a wigwam. This is a very... No. A little bit more on the inside. Perfect.
A leaf.
Now the best part is, these little ridge poles are great for hanging socks, hanging for your cold, wet clothes. You can also put a pole across. So when I was showing you the birch branch, you can make a pole go across here, hang a birch withy with a hook card on the end of it to hang your pot over the fire. This becomes a home. You guys want to just keep gathering boughs and spruce roots or anything like that you can think of. Anything you see that's a resource, start gathering. You see a dead standing tree, knock it over and bring the firewood back. You need as much firewood as you can get.
On the sandy shore, with limited trees, listening to the elders has provided them with the perfect construct to start camp.
Hey, I think you put time. On top of Terinigo, eh? I think you scum, ich got to to make. And with Dominico just away. Hello again. I see you know how to make the fire now.
We know how to make fire, thank you.
That's great. Good to see.
Something that I've been looking forward to. I kind of assumed that we would learn that skill eventually, and today was the day, and it looks like, our camp kind of needed it. Everybody's a little bit tired and hungry. We had quite the canoe ride here.
Unorganized.
So, yeah, everybody's just feeling a little bit famished, so we're all pretty excited to be able to learn how to catch food in an abundance, hopefully. So tomorrow morning we'll hopefully have a feast which will increase everybody's mood in camp and give us some energy for the next days to come.
Today we will show how to make a net, so that way we can have fish to eat tomorrow. Follow me. Wait to get shaman. How? Come follow me, my subgo. We're gonna make a net here. Let me know. Let's back to. Oh boy. All right. One way. Talking in the rope. You got more command? Cut the length of the rope.
Elder Charles guides the adventurers in the traditional method of tying their own fishing net from jute twine.
What you do is you get a rope, you get the right side and the left side of the rope, and you tie it. To make a diamond, like that. And the mess, the tabitan to set a net, to know where they are. You look at rock points. There'll be rock points on the lake, and they'll be made with grass. That's where pike hang around. Okay, can come here and try the twine here. Just loop it again. Here after after that, you make your diamond. Here's your diamond, okay?
That's how big you want?
Yes, usually you need 3 2-inch mesh, but this here is about 5 and 6 inches, because West Catch, long time ago, the fish were big. They were big, good size virgin fish. They were big, and like today, we're overfishing the areas where we are, and and they're getting smaller and smaller. Not enough time to grow. Okay.
So should we make it smaller than that then?
No, me. That's good.
I'm pretty confident we'll get something, and once we check it in the morning or something, I'm bound to catch something. So I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be a nice fish fry anyway. I don't even necessarily like fish, but I'm hungry, so fish sounds pretty tasty right now.
Okay, ayingay siya. Sabuting nando magishi pagitoing kumasay kaning. I'm gonna go get the net that we have here. It's a gill net. I'm gonna find a location on the lake here where we're gonna go set it. I'm gonna do by nab and the gauge just and I'll find a place where we can set it. I'm back, I'm back. Oh my. Try that. Just the diamond.
How do you tie it?
Yeah.
How do you tie it?
Passing on his lifetime of experience, Elder Charles instructs them on the best areas to set their net in lakes or rivers. Although simple, this traditional method will only be effective if they continue to work together, expanding and lengthening the net.
The toughest thing for me is my own confidence in what I'm doing. Like, I do have a lot of experience doing what I'm doing. Not like a lot of experience, I'm not gonna lie and say like I'm really, really good at anything, but when other people take the lead on stuff, I usually just let them. And I'm like, okay, well, just, you're good, like, you can take the lead on that and I'll just do what you want me to do, sort of thing. And then I kind of find myself being like, what do I do here other than, you know what I mean? Like, what's my skill here? Because they ask in interviews like about other people, like, oh, what's this person's skill? Like, Tim's been super, super patient. He's like, he helps people learn. He doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't judge people for stuff like that. So he's a really cool, like, paddle partner to have. So, and it's good for me because I'm not really good in the canoe and anything like that. So he's really shown me a lot of patience in that regard. And Caleb's just like hilarious. He brings the mood up like no matter what. He always has us laughing. And Brendan's just, his stories are incredible. Like stuff that he does, like with his work, his smithing and all that stuff. Like he's teaching us about stones, like things I never knew. Michaela's just out of this world, man. She's crazy. Like she does so much work. She has so much experience. She's kind of become like almost a leader in a way, because we kind of defer to her and stuff. Like we find the thing, we're like, oh, can we use this? And then it's up to her whether we can or not. And she works the course. She's going all the time, like just working where other people are like, oh well, just take a break. She'll still be chopping wood or whatever. But that's the thing too. She needs to learn how to defer, like tasks to people, not take on the full workload for herself. So I think that's a skill she's gonna have to learn, is how to, one, be more confident in herself, and two, learn how to pass jobs on to other people and let them like help her carry the work a little bit.
As their skills and responsibilities grow, these 6 strangers are starting to find their roles, and unexpected friendships are beginning to flourish as the adventure takes shape. Sunset is closing in, and the essential work of the camp needs to be completed. Tonight's shelter still has to be finished, and their new fish net has to be set in hopes of providing them with a much-needed meal.
I'm getting the shelter up, going to collect supplies like boughs, straight poles. Those are definitely my favorite things to do.
I think our fish net will get us some results.
It was great. It was therapeutic. I like sitting alone and just kind of getting into a little bit of a trance about it. It's a small meditation to sit and work and do something productive while you're also sitting. It gives you that kind of, shuts down your internal dialogue, I guess.
It's been a cool teaching, and yeah, it's something that I've always wanted to learn, and yeah, I think he's a good teacher who's able to show me how to tie it. It was something I was nervous about because these aren't my types of things, you know, the crafty type of things like that. So it was good for him to teach me and show me how to tie the little knots, and it's actually pretty simple once you start to do it and get in a rhythm. So yeah, it's a good teaching.
I have no peripheral vision right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Current equipment.
Definitely, like nets are pretty effective at catching fish. You just have to wade out into the water. It doesn't have to be that deep, and you can still get quite a bit of fish.
Michaela and Caleb jumped in the boats and they were able to set up the net in some better water just off the shores here. They just climbed right in. I guess it wasn't working inside the boat, so they had to jump outside of the boat and pound the stakes in and set the net. I was able to prepare a little fire for them when they got back so they could warm their feet, because they just climbed right in.
Returning from their net-setting efforts, Michaela and Caleb take some time to warm up in the shelter beside a welcome fire built by the others. The lack of calories and workload has caught up with them.
I think the net has potential to work. What do you think?
I think it has potential. It's just not quite long enough yet.
No. Yeah, we're gonna work on it a bit more. We're gonna attach a bit longer of a net Yeah, we'll probably get like a more of a, choose a weedier spot.
Yeah.
On a more of a pointed part of the water, so I think that it'll be more effective that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm just really tired.
Yeah, you got that really like groggy feel, eh?
Yeah, I just feel so groggy. Just, my brain hurts.
But it's definitely settling in. Like the workload is immense. You either do the work and have a good night's sleep, or you don't and just freeze out and don't eat. So evens itself out. That's kind of really what I just do. I just work so I can go to have a good sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to be warm at night and have food in my belly. So
yeah.
Just so much to do, so little time.
Yeah, because like the first part was finding our roles, but now that we're like kind of nestled into our roles now, so it's pretty sweet.
Mhm.
We haven't even gotten like in any arguments either, because
No.
we kind of just
Go with the flow.
Yeah, we go with the flow, and we're more or less just kind of we got a common goal, and we don't want anything to get in the way with that. So I think that's why we work so well together.
Mhm.
And there's really no point in arguing, you know, and getting in each other's face, and just seems like a waste of energy to get mad at each other.
Yeah.
So, and not having music, which is what I thought I would go crazy without. I actually don't really miss it that much.
No.
And plus, I always look forward to Gabrielle singing her drum songs.
Yeah, I love that. Very peaceful.
Pleased with their progress, Elder Charles gifts the adventurers a fresh caught fish to give them their first substantial meal in days. Between 6, it might not seem like much, but on the land there is only gratitude for their well-built shelter, a warm fire, and something to fill their bellies for the night.
Well, thank you for your sacrifice. I love...
Use the backside of the knife, and then you can kind of take the chunks off.
I like swordfish. Now that's a meaty.
Yeah, don't.
There you go.
Be gentle. Burning fish oil off a pan to avoid an encounter with a bear this cold night. I'm narrating.
That's good. Huh?
Challenge defines us. Our strengths unite us. How do we move forward when all seems lost? We can lean on our brothers and sisters. Tides will push us. But in every lesson, we find a way to reach tomorrow by connecting to our past. Will you seek the elders before the knowledge is lost?